What preparation will you want to do before starting mentoring? We'll examine that in this session, Preparing for the Meeting. By the end of this session, you'll be able to evaluate the most effective ways of matching client and mentor, explain the importance of preparation, and assess the extent of the preparation needed by the mentor and the client. Here's the first exercise to think about how you would go about matching client and mentor. So what factors would you want to consider in matching a client with a mentor? Write down your thoughts. In his findings, Hale includes these first 4 factors. The relationship is likely to be much more successful if there is a fundamental match of values between the client and mentor. This means discovering what is important to the client and finding a mentor that shares these fundamental beliefs. That's not to say you want someone who is exactly like the client, because then they may not be challenged. But it's important that the fundamentals are aligned. Hale suggests from his research that the mentor is one level up in the hierarchy from the client. However, Clutterbuck says, whereas once upon a time we could broadly say that there should not be more than 2 layers of hierarchy between mentor and mentee, organisation structures are now so complex, and a single layer of management may hide such a wide variation in status, experience and ability that such a simple rule no longer suffices. It is important to define clearly what the client's development needs are, so that a mentor can be found with the expertise and experience to fulfill those needs. Hale says that experience is more important than the fact that the mentor is so many years older than the client. Most mentors recommend that the client is given a choice wherever possible. Mentoring has been found to be less successful where the match is imposed. As has already been stated, mentoring is an offline relationship. That is, the mentor is not a line manager of the client. This is vital for many reasons, but largely because of the potential conflict between confidentiality and the line manager's role, and also because the thing that the client may well want to discuss may be the relationship with his or her line manager. And lastly, there is the matter of compatibility. The client and the mentor want to be comfortable with each other and have great rapport. This is not that they will agree with each other, but there is enough of a connection that they can respect and get on well with each other. This exercise is about preparation. Write down why it's important for the mentor to prepare, and then why it's important for the client to prepare. The mentor will want to prepare so that they're in the right frame of mind for the meeting, and that they've done all the research they need and have all the information. If the mentor arrives prepared, that helps build the relationship and to build trust with the client, and it also lets the client know that the mentor is committed. The client will want to prepare so that they get the most from the meeting. In my experience, clients who have thought about the meeting beforehand benefit most. So this preparation helps them be very clear about what they want to get from the meeting. And sometimes it's important for them to bring some information along, so being prepared helps with that too. So what type of preparation will you want to do as the mentor? Probably the most important factor for the success of the meeting is the frames of mind of both parties. There are 2 key factors. Firstly, that the mentor is in a positive and resourceful frame of mind. And secondly, that they're holding in their minds a very positive image of their client. However much you may think you're hiding it, if you have a negative image of your client, it will be projected onto them. That does not set up a good relationship. For a first meeting, it is always worth doing some research about your client, and if you're not part of it, the organisation. Before I see a client, I will always do research into the organisation, visit the website, and find out as much as I can about the client. If it's a subsequent meeting, then you'll want to review previous sessions, to refresh yourself what has happened in the past, And some literature on mentoring suggests that you prepare possibly ways you will handle issues that are likely to come up in the meeting. And this can sometimes be helpful, although it's important to remember that things will have changed since the last meeting. So what was thought to be important at the end of the previous meeting may no longer be important at all. It's also important to remember that solutions should come from the client. So your preparation may be about some questions you could ask, rather than what ways to move forward. The mentor can do a lot to make sure the client is well prepared before the session, particularly if you find that they're not very prepared for the first meeting. You can send some questions via email or letter before the meeting, or give them a checklist. It's useful to check the practical arrangements beforehand to make sure that they are conducive to a good meeting. I didn't do this once and found that the arrangement were for us to have a meeting in the middle of an open plan office. Not good. It's important to remember your own outcomes in being a mentor. What is it you want to get out of the meeting? A mentoring relationship is not one of teacher and learner. It's learning for both parties. I have learnt so much from my mentoring work, and I know that it's important for me to remember that to be a truly effective mentor, then I want to develop and learn too. So it's worthwhile reviewing how well previous mentoring meetings went, and what you would like to change, and what things you would want to do differently. And another bit of preparation is to think about your client's preferred way of learning things, so that anything you use can be put over in a way that makes it easy for them to learn from. What preparation will the client want to do? Well, as with the mentor, the client will want to be in the most resourceful frame of mind. Preparation can help with this, but if the client turns up to a meeting in a less than resourceful state, then one of the first jobs of the mentor will be to help the client change this. Particularly if it's the first meeting, then the client will want to be clear before the meeting what their expectations of mentoring are, so that they can discuss this with their mentor and clear up any misunderstandings. If this is a subsequent meeting, then the client will want to spend some time reviewing what they've done since the last meeting, what worked well, what they learnt, and what they'll want to achieve. It's also important that the client thinks about what they want on the agenda of the meeting. It is their meeting and they are responsible for the content. It is not for the mentor to find things to discuss. The client may want to bring certain information to the meeting and they'll want to prepare for that. For example, they may want to discuss something to do with their last appraisal with their line manager, and it's helpful to bring the report of that with them. And then lastly, it's very useful if the client reviews the previous meetings. What was it that the mentor did that really helped them? And what, if anything, they would like the mentor to do differently? In this exercise, think of someone you may mentor. What preparation would be important in that situation for you and your client? And on what basis have you made your choices? Write down your answers.